This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories, and welcome to my review of the film Justice Society WW2. And, of course, there'll be spoilers for this movie, which was just released on DVD a few days ago, although it has been out on digital for a few weeks. I was waiting for the physical release because I want the physical copy. First up, I think this was a very good movie overall, and, of course, there are some really interesting moments, and I think that there is a small mistake that was made. It's not really a mistake, it's something I would have done differently, since this seems to be the new version of the DC animated universe. I kind of wish that it did continue off of the ending of the previous one, with the Flash creating Flashpoint, once again, to be able to undo Darkseid's attack. But, really the only difference I would have had is, instead of having the opening, I would have had the Flash from that timeline go back and have the set in the regular timeline instead of being on an alternate Earth. Although that would mess things up, I'm not really sure how. There has been a lot of changes, including Aquaman being in the present and some kind of different King of Atlantis, but basically I just think that's the way it would work. Also, Superman wouldn't be able to be there, but really those changes would have to be put onto a different video, which I may or may not make. I'm not really sure. But going to the movie specifically, I think it had a pretty good opening, establishing that this is a continuation of Superman Man of Tomorrow, which was a pretty good movie also, that I did not review. When I go back and try to review those movies, especially the ones for this new universe, which I believe is going to be continued in with Batman The Long Halloween, which I am really excited for, even more than I was for this one. But looking at it, I think that that is a strong intro. I feel like Brainiac looked kind of weird, but it's his art style, and I think it still looks good. I am interested to see where this continues. But we have the Flash going back in time, at least let's be thinking first, until it's later revealed he's on an alternate Earth, since there's its own version of Superman there. And we know this isn't part of the same continuity as the previous DC one, because this version's Flash would know who Wonder Woman is from his timeline that it came from. So unless his memory was erased, which is still possible, that happened. But also there's the fact that in that DC universe, Iris was white, and in this one she is African American. So I don't think that a timeline change is going to be changing the race of anyone. It'll only be changing really their actions. So that almost confirms that this is not set in the same continuity, which makes that ending from Justice League Dark Apocalypse War seem kind of pointless, since we won't see what continuity that creates. Although I'm guessing this is going to be based off of Rebirth, this new one, and instead of focusing on Darkseid, they will likely focus on both Barbados, Perpetua, and hopefully the Batman Who Laughs, which is what I'm guessing, but I could be completely wrong and they could be going against a completely different villain. But going back to this movie, one last thing about the present thing, I feel like it feels kind of bad that they already took out Brainiac, unless he returns to a new body, because Brainiac is a classic Superman villain, and it was sort of treated like a one-off threat that was pretty minor in this film. Of course, I think that he could return since he is a AI, but that's just one thing I felt like was a little off. Again, I'm going to continue on to this, go to the alternate Earth, and I think it was a very nice introduction to them before we go into the Superman stuff, and both the opening and closing credits were really cool to be set in an older style. I really liked it. And looking at it, it was a pretty cool reveal that it was an alternate Earth. Although I wasn't really paying that well attention, I didn't really pay attention to who Shakespeare was. And if I looked a little closer, you probably would have seen the Superman was him. But that just proves that the glasses would work actually for him, since you may miss it if you're just looking at him with a mustache, and he looks different. And then, looking at the rest, I like that, virtually all of it, the GSA was a good team, and they were very well done, and I really enjoyed this movie. It was nice to have a relationship between both Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman, and it was very obvious that he was going to die, but I am surprised that Hawkman also died. I didn't think that they were going to kill off two of the JSA members, but they did. And I definitely think it was very nice for the Flash to be able to learn this lesson that he does need love in his life and to have the relationships, because if he didn't, it could end very abruptly. And that Wonder Woman probably does regret her decisions, but is glad that the Flash will be able to learn from her mistakes. Also, with this, I really did enjoy everything, and I really liked that Aquaman twist that he was being controlled by the Nazis. Honestly, at first I thought that the villain was Ocean Master in there, and that he was going to try to trick them with Aquaman being their prisoner and them having to team up, but that was still an interesting way to go. And they didn't go with the traditional villain. I actually don't know who the villain was. I can't remember his name, or if they ever said it, but I think they did a very good job with it. That final battle was cool, and likely made the JSA public in that continuity, or part of the multiverse, and really, that was just a fun movie. I have really nothing much to say about it, I just really enjoyed it, and can't wait to see where this universe goes on, and to see how the Justice League is formed, and what threat they'll go up against first. I'm guessing that the first team will likely include Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Aquaman, and Martian Manhunter, with a seventh member being likely the Green Lantern or other big superhero, because I think that if they do Cyborg, he will be saved for Teen Titans and at the Justice League, but that's really what I think. But really, I am just excited to see where this universe goes overall. And it's interesting that they already set up everything here. And Steph Clever actually could be Dr. Fate, who could return to this universe, or stay in his, I'm not really sure, but either way I think it's interesting and want to see where this continues on to. Thank you for watching this episode, and look out for my videos next week, which are all scheduled, and I'll be making shortly after this video releases. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories, and may the Force be with you.